Good morning, my lovely people. How are you? Thank you, everyone that have joined us on this journey. Now, if you haven't joined us and you want to be getting video and be getting the news as we see it or as someone sends it to us, you need to really subscribe by hitting the red button below. Okay. There's a question in my mind after watching a video that started trending since yesterday online. And when I saw the video, I was like, okay, at first I was like, why is this guy angry? I didn't understand what the video was all about until I actually listened to the audio, okay? And when I was, listening to this guy angry, trying to beat up his sister, I could relate to how he felt. Okay, now if you haven't seen that video trending online, I'm going to post it now because it's important that people, actually watch this video. Sometimes Africans and people back home think that when you go or when you live abroad, that the money is on the street. You just go there and you just pluck the money from the tree, or even maybe it's littered everywhere on the street. So you just go and be picking it. But they don't understand that people actually work very hard for their money in igho-evbuebo. Now, most Nigerians that go to Western world actually go there through hard means. So either they paid someone so much money to get them the visa, or they traveled and they stayed back in the country. So now if this is your experience and you travel and you've passed like 10 to 15 years in a white man's country suffering, it is hard, it is wickedness for the family that you've been sending your money to instead of investing that money for you to have squandered it. That is the height of wickedness. I have seen so many Africans doing odd jobs. I've seen some of them, what they are doing is to wash, dead body. They're in the mortuary, that is their job. Some of them are here and what they are doing is nightclub. They're in the toilet, cleaning the toilet. When, people will just come and vomit. It is their job to clean it. Some people are doing, work that they cannot do back home. These are big boys back home. They come into the white man's country. They come into igho-evbuebo, and you know what? You just have to blend. You just have to do what they, you don't have a paper, you don't even have the visa, you don't have the work permit. So you cannot work your normal job. And when I say normal job, I'm not even talking about working in a city. I'm even talking about working in a care home or doing something that is a little bit, like even being a security here is respectable. So you see, someone actually, after working these odd jobs that he could not have done back home, sends this money home for a project. Instead of his family to actually do what he requested of them, they eat that money. Now watch this video and I'll come back.
Hey! See! You don't know me! You don't know me! I'm a drug pusher for 30 years! Someone can hear going on. Hey! 30 years! I'm not a drug pusher! I'm a drug pusher! I make money! This guy's back on my money! This guy's back on my money! I want this! Give me! Please, come on, my money! You don't know me! Okay, you don't know me! You don't fucking know me! 30 years in Europe, I am a calm down. I'm not a try. I'm not a me. Hey! Calm down. Hey! Calm down. Hey! Calm down.
Alright, thank you so much for watching that video. Now the story involving this video is, there's so many stories about this video. Some people say it's real, it's happening, that the man lived in America, I don't know, European country, one of the European countries, the one in specific, for 13 years. And while he was there, he was doing an illegal job. He was pushing coke, he was a drug baron, and he was sending money back home for them to build a house and do some project for him. After 13 years of being away from Nigeria, he got back home only for him to find out that there was nothing on the ground for him. They didn't do anything for him. The money that he's been sending to his sister, they used it for themselves and their own children. This is wickedness. This is wickedness. I don't see how your own blood would do that to you. I'm not supporting pushing coke or going into illegal jobs, but this man actually must have risked his life. This man must have, he just wanted to just hit it. He just wanted to make money, okay? He didn't want to go the right way. He wanted to just hit it as much as he can. So if he had been pushing drugs, that means he must have been sending big money home, okay? Only for them not to have invested in it. This guy, to be frank with you, he was so hot. And for him being, he's seen it all. He's a street guy. He's been in the street, okay? So I don't even think the sister is safe. Because if that guy is someone who can do illegal stuff and he's in the street, he can do whatever he wants to do. So the sister needs to be very, very careful because that guy is a street boy. But this story is not just about people who, are doing illegal job. There's some people, last 2 years, I had a friend of mine. She's a nurse. She's from South Africa. She's been she's not gone home for some time now, 10 years. And she was a nurse here. She was sending money home, thinking that they were building a house for her. She didn't travel because she had things to do. She was raising up her children. She didn't go home. And the funny bit about it was that they keep sending her pictures of a house that were being completed. She didn't know that house was not real. It was someone else's house. Only for her to just one day decide to go back to South Africa. First of all, they didn't want her to come back. They were persuading her not to come back. Oh, how South Africa is so dangerous and everything. But she insisted. Only for her to get home. Then asked them to take her to the property. And there was no property. She has sworn never to go back home again. And she's not talking to her family anymore. And it brings me to my question. What do people think that people living in abroad do? Do they think we pluck the money from somewhere? It is harder to live in igho-evbuebo than to live in Nigeria, because in igho-evbuebo it is just your salary. Nobody will come and see you and dash you money. Nobody dashes people money here. You work and you must pay your tax. In Africa, you can dodge your tax, but here, you must pay your tax, you must pay your bills. So electricity, you must. It's not that one that, you can reconnect your light or, no, here you must pay it. Your children must have childcare. So you go to work and you have to pay for someone to look at you. In Africa, we are so blessed because we have families. Things are done illegally so you can get away with things. But here it is not. Then out of that little money that you have, you now squeeze it a little bit to send back home, because maybe you're thinking that maybe when you get to 70, you go back home, you retire, and then you have a beautiful house. Only for you to find out that your family were not building that house for you. All this while you've been sending money home. That's the worst that could happen to a man. And I'm going to give people advice, yeah? If you're going to be doing any project back home, make sure you are going home to inspect it yourself. Don't stay in a foreign land for 13 years and you've been sending money and you don't know if the project is there. Before you even start project, make sure you're voting your paper so that you yourself can monitor your own project. You should be the number one person monitoring your own project. I mean, I have a friend of mine who just opened a shop in Lagos, and she's based in the UK, and she's sending stuff for them to sell for her. 3 months down the line, she cannot account for the money. Nobody, she doesn't know what she went home. She can't find anything in the shop that she's been sending home. Everything's been sold. But where is the money? Nobody knows. Nobody can account for it. And I was like, you know what? For you to have a company back home, you need to relocate. Unless it's something that is virtual, something that you can run online. If it's something physical, you need to be there to monitor your company or your goods. If you have a project, you need to be going home almost every six months to monitor the project. You cannot be sending money home 5 years you've not gone home. Now look at this guy, okay? All his hard-earned money is gone. And this was done to him by family, blood. That's why when they come here and say, can you buy, why don't you buy a land? Why don't you build? I say, me, buy land, okay? I'm not interested. Any day I decide I want to buy a land, I'll carry my money, I'll come back. I will negotiate the land by myself. I will see the land by myself. I will face the land by myself before I go. For me to send money to somebody back home to go and buy a land for me when I'm not physically there, how am I sure it's my name that you put in the title document? How am I sure? People just blindly trust people, and it's about time we stop doing that, okay? So when I saw this, I decided to send it around because people need to learn. People need to know that you cannot trust people blindly, even if they are your blooders. You cannot trust people blindly. Things are happening now. Everybody wants to hammer. Everybody wants to hit. Everyone wants to, have a duplex or send their children to the best school. Let not other people, get rich on your sweat. Use your senses wisely. Think wisely. Learn from this boy's mistake and make sure that if you're living in diaspora, that you have your senses, okay? I know common sense is not that common, but please let this video make it become common to you. Thank you everyone for watching. Until I come your way again, please subscribe to my channel if you want to be getting news as is happening. Thank you. Bye bye.